Okay, so while responding to students' written work, whether it's in the form of uh, examination question or assignment or a portfolio, the question arises how we can, as language teachers, strike the balance between praise and criticism. So it's sort of difficult ask for the teachers because it's just called sugaring the pill, or how to make a balance between um, the areas which students lack and the improvements which they need. So making balance between these two points or poles is very challenging task for the language teachers. So we'll explore how we can make it more effective. So, as regards the practicality of praise and criticism, it's important that uh, uh, teachers and the researchers argue a sandwich technique, which is like balancing the criticism with the praise. So, it's not just the weaknesses which are pointed, rather, the teachers talk about the strengths and their and then talking about the strengths can lead the students towards encouragement, and encouragement may lead them to notice some of the points to be improved. So what the research suggests is that we need to give criticism which is constructive, which is not judgmental. There are many examples which tend to appear to be judgmental. For example, if a teacher remarks that your references are like a shopping list, so this can be a very discouraging and sweeping statement, not only discouraging for the students, but also affecting their self esteem, motivation, and identity. And it also, this kind of statement might reflect the power differences which can see teachers as gatekeepers and students as the passive recipients. So use of sandwich technique, as I said before, is more effective than criticism, which is sweeping, which is altogether dismissive. So in this regard, it's important to balance between the overall feedback and the feedback provided in the margins. For example, um, when we provide feedback, running feedback on paragraphs, from paragraph to paragraph till conclusion, that shows that we, as language teachers, are interested in students' work, and they feel encouraged, they feel motivated that someone is interestingly reading their work. So this kind of technique helps students make connection with or engage with the feedback and take it as a learning opportunity. So there are some dangers which we'll have to keep in view as language teacher, that we don't provide, as I said before, a commentary which is entirely or absolutely or extremely dismissive, because such kind of commentary can make the students uh, feel discouraged, and discouragement can lead them to demotivation, and demotivation can affect their self esteem as a student and identity as a learner. So, uh, the, a- the technique which I myself use and which I have found very encouraging for my students is the use of questions. For example, instead of saying this is wrong, I would say, what do you think about this? What about replacing this adjective with this one? So this can like motivate students and draw their attention towards noticing the gap between the desired and the current performance. So the commentary which is dismissive, which is overly critical, can lead the students go back into the chaos and reflect it as something discouraging. So while giving feedback as language teachers, which I have learned is that we need to make the balance between our uh, authority as language teachers, that we should not appear too authoritative, too judgmental, and we should give feedback in such a manner which encourage students to take ownership of their work And the question regarding the global errors and the local errors, I mean, the errors of the content and the errors of the form, which means the overall language or grammar, needs to be delicately balanced by language teachers.